before I get started, I think some people are looking at me saying, well, did you try to make things more formal or try to impersonate the wait staff? So, well, on a more serious note, thanks for the kind comments, John. And thank you to Noel, Latif, and the Foreign Policy Association for this honor. It is a privilege to be here and to represent the 130,000 employees at Honeywell today. Honeywell has an unwavering commitment to the principle that good business, economic growth, and social responsibility go hand in hand. Each is a measure of success for today's corporation, and each is achievable when you build a business on a strong bedrock of principles. For Honeywell, these principles are three fundamental expectations that apply everywhere we do business: integrity and ethics, inclusion and diversity, and workplace respect. When it comes to hiring, assessing, and promoting employees, everyone gets graded on a pass-fail scale. We cannot have employees who don't consistently demonstrate all three principles on a daily basis. For the past decade, we have championed an operating system for the company called HOS Gold. It's a framework for bringing together all the initiatives we use to drive growth and productivity across our organization, from the plant floor to the corporate headquarters. An essential part of HOS Gold is our commitment to the environment, health, and safety. All of our work processes are geared towards providing a safe workplace that respects the environment. If we cannot run a process at world-class environment, health, and safety standards, we don't run it. And frankly, one of my favorite words that I use and open every one of our senior leadership meetings are the following: we will do everything we can to protect our employees, communities, and facilities. We make our expectations clear to all employees through our Code of Business Conduct. Every year, all Honeywell employees must certify that they understand the code and will follow it fully in letter and spirit. We're also proud of our world-class and independent board of directors who are fully engaged and supportive of these expectations for every employee and whose composition reflects our approach to diversity. Honeywell's Sustainable Opportunity Policy, which we first introduced in 2005, is designated to safeguard natural resources, ensure worker and public health, and develop and promote opportunities to support sustainability through innovation. Many of our technologies increase fuel efficiency and reduce emissions of harmful pollutants. In addition, our connected technology portfolio, which blends advanced software with leading physical products, promotes safety, security, comfort, efficiency, and productivity across a wide range of industries and global markets. Honeywell prides itself on a thoughtful approach to community relations and charitable giving. We don't just write checks. We get involved, and we do so in a way that is consistent with our brand and our values. Honeywell launched its award-winning corporate citizen initiative, Honeywell Hometown Solutions, in 2004. We have focused hometown solutions on several critical areas that are important to society: science and engineering, family safety and security, housing and shelter, habitat and conservation, and humanitarian relief. These areas were not randomly selected; that they are integral to our brand. They are squarely in the wheelhouse of our business strategies and fueled by the passion of our employees, who love what they do and have the desire, the energy, and the generosity to support their communities. Many of our corporate social responsibility initiatives are funded in part or in whole by employee donations and executed by employee volunteers. The enthusiasm among those who want to get involved is infectious. Let me share with you a few of the stories with you. For one is water. For many of us in this room, water is something we generally take for granted. In parts of India, that is hardly the case. In the state of Telangana, for example, home to 35 million of India's 1.3 billion people, more than 70% of the surface water is contaminated by human, agricultural, and industrial waste. The children there suffer from skeletal fluorosis, teeth mottling, and stunting, while the elderly endure spinal bending, joint pain, and reduced mobility. Honeywell is deeply invested in the Telangana region with nearly 900 employees in the area and state-of-the-art Global Technology Development Center at Hyderabad, which is the state capital. In late 2015, Honeywell partnered with Safe Water Network, a nonprofit organization, to quickly mobilize a safe water delivery strategy in the region. Within months, safe water stations called iGiles were installed in 25 rural towns supported by Honeywell volunteers who spread the word and helped educate citizens on the importance of safe drinking water for overall health and hygiene. Today, with 130 stations and growing, we're bringing potable water to more than 420,000 people in that region. Follow-up research on the citizen, there's confirming remarkable improvements in health and well-being. Honeywell is also passionate about science, technology, engineering, and math education. We believe that in order to inspire young students to pursue careers in these areas, they must be taught by inspired teachers. Since 2004, we have sent more than 3,000 teachers from around the world to the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama, to learn exciting new teaching techniques using astronaut-style interactive sessions. These teachers, in turn, have affected an estimated 5 million students around the world who have benefited from these new techniques. Since 2010, we have sent more than 2,000 students to the Space Center to learn leadership skills and discover the fun of science and math subjects over the course of a week-long curriculum. This year, we launched a new computer sciences program for middle and high school teachers in partnership with Georgia Tech. In fact, the program gets underway next month. Research tells us only 2% of U.S. students study computer programming, with only 62% of schools offer access to any computer courses at all. Working closely with the state of Georgia, we aim to deliver training in software engineering, coding, and computational thinking over 4 intensive weeks to teachers, enabling them to receive state certification. To support the program, our engineers in Atlanta will mentor the teachers and share their expertise in areas such as robotics, the Internet of Things, and virtual reality. We focused on Atlanta because it's the home of our global software headquarters. We plan to expand to other parts of the U.S. and even to other regions around the world once we get through a cycle 2 of learning. I'd like to share one last story about the kind of people who work at Honeywell. As John mentioned, in August and September of last year, an unprecedented number of natural disasters hit several locations where Honeywell has a significant employee base: Mexico, Romania, and the continental United States, and Puerto Rico. The first disaster struck Texas when Hurricane Harvey devastated much of the Houston metropolitan area. Many of our employees found their homes immersed in several feet of water. 2 weeks later, Hurricane Irma churned through Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. 1 week after that, Romania suffered unrelenting, record-setting flooding. 2 days later, central Mexico was rocked by an earthquake, and the next day, Puerto Rico was rendered helpless by Hurricane Maria. Most of the island lost power for an extended period of time. With these 5 disasters, a total of 1,300 employees were displaced and in need of immediate financial assistance. More than 4,600 Honeywell employees raised nearly $600,000, matched dollar for dollar by the company, to help their colleagues rebuild their homes and get back on their feet. We've also donated $100,000 in critical humanitarian relief supplies to Puerto Rico, including generators, water, and a Honeywell JetWave communication systems that gave employees the ability to contact their loved ones and let them know they were safe. The city of Houston received $2 million in first responder supplies after Hurricane Harvey. Mexico received more than $400,000 in first responder supplies, and just this past weekend, 400 Mexico City employees volunteered to rebuild a secondary school destroyed by the earthquake. This was a huge humanitarian effort driven not just by the company, but the generosity of the employees. And the biggest point, perhaps, is that while this was Honeywell's biggest humanitarian effort ever, it wasn't the first one of its type. Over the past decade, Honeywell's Humanitarian Relief Fund has raised and donated nearly $10 million to help employees recover from disasters around the world. In addition, Honeywell has built 2 schools in China, 1 school in Haiti, 1 school in the Philippines to help devastated communities. Taking care of our communities is a well-ingrained practice at Honeywell, and many employees around the world at all levels of the company take great pride in what we accomplish. They consider nothing less than a fundamental reflection of the spirit that makes Honeywell great. These are just a few examples that I hope paint a picture of Honeywell and its employees operate in communities around the world. A company is only as good as its employees, and Honeywell is the best employees in the world when it comes to having a passion for the communities in which we live and work. Without these employees, I wouldn't be here tonight, and Honeywell wouldn't be the great company that it is. Again, it's with deep gratitude that I accept the Corporate Social Responsibility Award on behalf of Honeywell. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your evening and to share some stories about the type of company Honeywell is. Thank you.